So what we're doing today is putting a little lion's head fountain in. So I've built up in blockwork, put a little foundation in, built some blockwork up. That won't be seen. You can see down here it's very rough stone at the bottom. So that's going to all be covered with soil and have ferns planted. So what I'm doing is just putting a bit of pipe work in at the back so that that's all in place, ready to build up with nice stone now and to clad that sort of blockwork. So just put the lion's head in. It's got a slight skew, you can see, just needs to turn a little bit that way, but we'll sort that. Round the back I've had to put sort of a long sort of thing to hold it. I've had to put a bend on the pipe coming in. There was only a small bit of pipe coming out the back of the line, so I had to do a few things there to help that. But that's got that round and that's out ready. That will come into an old Belfast white sink, which will render with some Pseudotufa and make that look alright. So we've just got the top bit to do and the coping to go on. I've got with the lion's head as an old sort of white sink here. We've dropped the pipe through the middle, that's coming through, which will link up to the pump, and that will just go round and round. Now what I'm doing with the white sink, I've made up a mixture of cement and SBR. You can do it one-to-one with a bit of water if you want a little bit of water. And all I'm trying to do now is to provide a key on the top of this, just so that the render will stick. So what I'll do, I'll wait until this has gone really tacky or pretty much gone off, and then we'll put the top on. And that'll be a mixture of 2 parts peat, 1 part sand, 1 part cement, and that's a Pseudotufa. Tufa's an old rock that used to be used a lot in the Victorian times. You still see it around at places like Matlock, and you know, old grottos and that are made of it. And then for the mix, so here's our sand. So we got it'll break that open a bit. So we'll put 1 good one of cement in there. In fact, I can have a little bit more to make it a little bit stronger. Stronger than that. Then all you do is you mix them up dry first. Obviously if you've got a mixer, you can put water in first and then add your mix, but when you're doing a mix like this in the barrow, you want to mix them up dry. And what you're looking for is a nice uniform, even colour, so that all the cement is distributed evenly. You can see at the moment there's a bit of variation, but it won't be long. Break the bark up as much as you can, so that then it will get right into the mix. So keep chopping with your spade or whatever you're using, your shovel. And then what I've got here, I've just got a mix of water and a bit of SBR. I'm going to pour that into it. Okay, we'll mix that in. Again, just a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit more water, mix it up until you get a nice consistency that you can push it on. Have a mix, going to have a little bit more. Pull that little bit together. Now that's pretty much how you want it now. Just something you can literally kind of throw at it and it sticks on. Okay, there we go. Oh, let's do it. So it's beginning to take shape. What you can do on the sides is just use your 2 hands, just push it together like that, and that works quite well. And then here obviously we'll just use the back of your hand where you can't get in, and we'll just, as you sort of push it, it spreads out anyway. Then you can mould it and get it to how you want it. I kind of almost want it to connect to the wall here in a way, because that will be quite nice for it to, then the water will, and if I put a slight chamfer in, very very slight, so it isn't really noticeable, then all the water will run back into here. So can see I've just got a little bit to do up there, and I've got a bit to do on the outside just to finish it. So we'll put a bit there and a bit there. So I'm just going to get that so I can start to chamfer it. And that's it really. You just kind of just moulding it with your hands, just keeping it together, and then that'll. You do have to press it in a bit so it's stuck though. Don't, you know, do make sure that you've really pressed it in well, and then we can worry about wire brushing and that when it's all dried off. So I just got a little bit more for there, a little bit there, and a little bit there, and then we'll do that chamfer. And what I'll do that with the trowel. So once I've got the rough shape like this, I'm just going to go around and just sort of angle it a little bit so it still looks like it's the trough, if you like, that we're trying to create, but it is slightly angled, just so it catches that bit of water which will splash back, like a splashback really. Now this stuff, Pseudotufa, was used in the Victorian era, and there were two brothers, they're called the Pullman brothers, could be more than two actually, and they went around making this. They called it Pullmanite stone, and they went around making all sorts of gardens during that time. So this has been around a long, long time, and they had their own mix. They might use ash or a bit of dust or something, and but it's all, it just comes off a little bit there. Just going to push that back just to join that in. I mean, the good thing about this, of course, the Belfast sink is what's going to kind of be the water reservoir. That's what's sort of waterproof, if you like. This is purely cosmetic. Even if a bit did drop off later on, it wouldn't matter. You could just put a bit of Unibond or a little bit of SRB or PVC glue, put it on, and then just paint it back on again afterwards. So I've just got a little bit to do around the sides here just to sort of get that, but to be honest about it, we're not far off. There we go. Finish that. There we go, that's that. It's all done now around that side. Around there, starting to look a bit more trough-like now.